Awesome. So thank you and welcome to today's event. My name is Mike. I'm with ClearAdmit. ClearAdmit is a business school applicant resource website where folks can go onto our site and learn about the admissions process to all the top business schools all around the globe, but especially in the US. And Carnegie Mellon University is one of those universities that's a really top business school that we cover for multiple program types, including the MSBA, which we will be covering today. So if you need help with the admissions process or just some tips or just to meet other folks going through the admissions process so you're not doing it alone, come check out ClearAdmit. And that's all you need to know about us for today's session. I want to pass it over to our panel who will discuss the MS in Business Analytics today, including the Executive Director of that program, Dr. Kathleen Conway. Dr. Conway, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, we're happy to be here today. So I am the executive director of our MSBA programs at Tepper, including the part-time MSBA program, which is what we are here to talk about today. And I will turn it over to Dunya to introduce herself from our admissions team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dunya Khoury. I'm one of the assistant directors on the master's admissions team, and I work primarily with our online part-time master's in business analytics program. So really excited to chat with you all today and really excited to have Amina with us, one of our alums. So I will pass it over to her.
Thank you, Dunya, and thank you, Kathleen. So I'm very excited to be here today, and I recently graduated in the May of 2025, so just not too long ago. It was a fun experience, and I'm looking forward and so excited to sharing everything about it. Whatever you want to know. Over to you, Kathleen.
Great, thank you. So a little bit about the structure of our conversation today. And again, please feel free to ask any questions that you have as we're going throughout the presentation in the chat or in the Q&A. So we'll talk a bit about why a Master of Science in Business Analytics. So what do these types of programs allow you to do? What are they built to have you walking away from the program with? I will share a bit about how our program looks. So what does the Tepper part-time MSBA program look like? How is it structured? What does the academic component of that degree look like, as well as some of the other experiences that students in the program have? Amina will share from her student perspective what were the key things that she gained by participating in this program and what did it look like from a student side. And then we'll hear from Dunya about some tips for the admissions process. So what we are looking for in applicants, what the actual application process looks like, and then we'll have time for some Q&A as well. So why a master's in business analytics? What makes a program focused in on something as specific as analytics applied in a business space? So the purpose of these degrees is really to help students build career-focused skill sets. So through this program, you are directly learning things that are immediately applicable within a wide range of business career spaces. So in our program, we have coursework and build skills in areas like data analytics, machine learning, as well as business foundational areas. We also think it's really important to spend time in our curriculum on what are considered these core skills. So these are the skills that are really critical for being a leader, a manager within your organization, leading a team. These are the skills that kind of go beyond that technical knowledge, but are really important for being able to translate your technical knowledge into strategic decision making. So these are things like communication. So this is especially important when we talk about data. Understanding how to use data, what it means is one thing, but then being able to translate that information to other members of your team, to your organization's leadership, to external stakeholders is really that critical link. So we spend time in our program learning how to communicate with data for different audiences and how to translate those technical learnings into decision making. We spend time in areas like leadership, kind of critical thinking and problem solving. So all of those core skills that really help translate that technical knowledge to the business workplace. And I think that's what makes something in the field of business analytics versus like a data science or a more general program is that we really not only focus on those technical skills, but then kind of those link and those translation skills as well. And I mentioned that these are things that you will immediately be able to apply into a business context. So we focus on career-focused skill sets. We also focus on how to lead with data. So it's not just, again, being able to understand, use data, but it's how do you take that into a leadership space within an organization. So because our program is structured in a way that it's part-time and it's online, most of the students in the program are full-time working professionals, and this type of degree allows you to gain the academic knowledge and the skills to advance your career without having to pause it and step away and return to a full-time academic program. So this allows you to balance these learnings with your professional and personal life. And we'll hear more about that from the student lens today. But that's one of the benefits of this type of program, is that you can do this alongside of a full-time job. You'll become an expert in data storytelling through this program. And I talked about this a bit, but this idea of being able to lead with data is really using data and the learnings from data to drive strategy and decision making. And that's that link between the data and the leadership components of an organization. Okay, so a little bit about Tepper. So you might not be super familiar with the Tepper School at Carnegie Mellon University, but we have this tagline of the intelligent future. And that actually means a lot to us in terms of how we deliver academic programs, what the student experience looks like. So what does this idea of the intelligent future mean? Well, Carnegie Mellon and Tepper it's the birthplace of a data-informed but a human-driven approach to business. So you hear a lot about things being data-driven, but we know that data itself doesn't make decisions, right? So data itself doesn't decide what to do. Data itself isn't biased or has leanings. It's what humans either tell that data to do or do with that data. That's really the critical piece. So we don't think about things as being driven by the data. We think of things as being driven by the humans, and the data is helping to inform that decision making. And that's why, again, we focus on both sides of that academic experience. So the technical skills as well as the human skill sets around communication and leadership and teamwork. The intelligent future to us also means that all of the students in our academic programs, whether they're online or in person, are part of this community that's really focused on innovation, on collaboration, on growth. So we see this in our coursework, in that you won't see faculty kind of just teaching the same course material semester after semester, course after course, because we know that things are changing daily in this space. And so all of our courses have a faculty member who is actively teaching that course to you, and they are constantly updating, revising, adding new case studies, topics, things in the news, research articles, and it's a constant space of kind of innovation and growth. And the last component that I want to touch on is, as an MSBA student, you are plugged into a global network. Tepper has a global footprint. And as part of this program, you will be connected not only to the students in your cohort, but to this global landscape of Tepper students and alumni. I want to talk briefly through what the Tepper experience looks like, because I think it's something special about our program is that we don't just kind of sit in the academic space. So obviously the academics of any program are really important and critical, but we like to think about your experience holistically. So students who are in our part-time MSBA program, you will have courses, and we'll talk through what the academic space looks like. But there are 3 other components that are important for us as a program to give you the opportunity to build and to connect into. And those are community, your career progression and career development, and professional development. So I'll briefly touch on each of these, starting with the academic experience. So you will see here, this is on our website, so you can certainly dive more into detail with the curriculum map, but this is kind of a high-level overview of the academic structure of our part-time MSBA program. So our courses are broken into what are called minis. So those are about 7 weeks long. So each mini semester is 7 weeks. And students take 2 courses at any time. So each mini, students are enrolled in 2 courses. And then when that mini ends and the next mini starts, they have 2 new courses. You will also see that we have what are called campus experiences on this curriculum map. The campus experience weekends are an opportunity for the cohort to come together to the Pittsburgh campus in person. And each of those weekends has a different focus. And I'll talk a little bit through what those look like. Those are optional. So that's completely an optional opportunity for students, but it does give you the opportunity to engage with your cohort in person, to see your faculty in person. We do some other great things during those weekends, but it gives you the opportunity to kind of make this more of a hybrid program. So you can have that in-person interaction on campus and with your cohort as well. You'll see in the coursework here that it covers those different areas that we talked about. So those technical skills, so there are programming and machine learning courses. There are the kind of analytical and statistical foundational coursework. And then you'll see those kind of leadership-based courses. So managing people in teams, the communications course. And one component that we will talk through as well is the capstone. So that's kind of a hallmark of our MSBA program is the capstone course, which stretches through 2 mini semesters. And that's where students do an actual applied project with a client in the space of analytics. What our courses actually look like. So we talked about there are 2 courses each mini. They meet over Zoom. So you will meet live each week. Each class meeting is 75 minutes. They're in the Eastern time zone at night. So typically 8 o'clock, 8 to 9:30 is the range in which the courses fall. And you will have, so those 2 classes per mini. So you'll have 2 live class sessions per week. And then throughout the week, there will be asynchronous content. So those might be short videos to watch. Those might be problem sets. Those might be case studies or projects that you're working on, but you will have asynchronous content outside of those live class meetings. This is a picture of one of our studios. So the faculty are all teaching from these studios in the Tepper school where they can see all of the students. So it creates a really dynamic classroom environment where it feels more than just kind of a professor lecturing at you. It's a really interactive space where the live sessions are designed to be it's kind of a flipped classroom model. So the live sessions are designed for faculty to engage with students, for students to engage with each other, and to be a more discussion, dynamic, collaborative space. And the studios really facilitate that type of classroom environment. So I'll talk through those campus experience weekends. So the first is Base Camp. Base Camp is what we call our orientation program. And Base Camp essentially gives you the opportunity to learn about everything involved with this program before you dive into the coursework. So we have an online Base Camp course that launches over the summer, which helps students get oriented to the program, learn about Tepper, learn about their classmates. And then our in-person base camp happens at the very end of August. So for this year, it's August 22nd and 23rd. And that's right before the start of that first semester. And during that weekend, we do a lot of kind of connecting with the cohort, with faculty. You will hear from the faculty that you'll then be seeing on the screen about what their classroom will look like and what you should expect in their class. You will learn about the requirements and the policies of the program. You'll get to know the program staff as well as other Tepper staff who will be supporting you throughout the program. And that all happens before we ask you to start launching into the coursework. So we want students to feel really comfortable with the people that will be with you throughout this journey before you have to get started into the academic components. The second campus experience weekend happens in May of the first year. So students have the option to come to campus for the August weekend. Then they take courses throughout the fall and the spring, and May is that second campus experience weekend opportunity before the summer courses start. And this is just to give you an idea of what a campus experience weekend looks like. So it typically involves company visits. So we take students to organizations that have a prominent presence in the Pittsburgh area, but they're global organizations that are using analytics, that are kind of at the leading edge of the application of analytics in a corporate space. So those types of organizations that we visit look different, but we want to give you the opportunity to not only build out your career network, but to see how analytics are being used in places that might differ than your current workplace. You will also get to do some deep dives. So we have faculty come in and do kind of deep dives into areas that you won't necessarily take a full course in, but will give you some insights and some skills throughout those deep dives. So things like people analytics, we typically have sports analytics during those campus experience weekends. So again, spaces to learn more about the application of analytics in addition to the courses that you'll be taking. We do a lot of kind of cohort and team activities during those weekends as well. So we do fun dinners, outings, opportunities, again, for you to connect with the people that are really important throughout your academic journey. There's a lot of team-based work that happens in our program intentionally. And this is a great space to just connect with those people outside of the Zoom setting. And then the last campus experience weekend happens in the second year. So students go through the summer, they go through the fall, and then January is our last campus experience weekend right before that final semester. And this campus experience weekend is designed to be an introduction to the capstone projects. So the capstones happen for the whole final semester of the program, and those are team-based projects. So the capstone analytics weekend is designed to help set the stage for what those projects will look like. So some of the organizations who will be partnering with students will be there for that weekend. You'll have the opportunity to connect with your team that will be working on the capstone and to really launch into that experience. For the campus experience weekends, just in case you're curious about the logistics and what that looks like, we do create a schedule of programming for Friday and Saturday of those weekends. We provide you with hotel accommodation, so you don't have to try to navigate or set any of that up on your own. We create a hotel reservation for you, and we provide all of the meals during the weekend. Transportation from the hotel to campus or anywhere else that we might be going is all provided and included. The only thing that students have to do is arrange your travel to and from the weekend. So whether you're coming from home, somewhere else, students arrange their own travel, and then everything is taken care of for you while you're here for that weekend. A little bit more on the capstone course. So these are team-based projects with defined deliverables for a real client. So these are organizations who have a business challenge that analytics and people who have skill sets in analytics, machine learning, programming can help to provide insights into. So throughout the course of the semester, students work with the representatives from that organization to talk through the business challenge or the problem, and to work through all of the stages of coming out to a final presentation, final recommendations, final insights and learnings. And many of the things that students have presented to clients have been taken and implemented, or they have been used to make some critical decisions for that organization. So this is an opportunity to have a real impact using the skills that you've learned throughout this program. And I'm excited that Amina is here because I think she had a really rewarding capstone experience, which she will talk about, but it's really the opportunity to see the impact that the learnings from this program can have on a wide range of organizations. These are just some of the examples of companies that have worked in our program with capstones in the past. Small list. All right, so that's kind of the academics. Let me briefly touch on the community. So we really do view each individual student as kind of the center of their experience and the center of this community. We know that every student in this program especially is unique in terms of why you're coming to this program, what you're hoping to get out of it. And so we have all of these people and resources as part of your community to support you in getting to that end goal. So your cohort and your classmates, certainly part of your community, the Tepper faculty and staff, they will all know you individually and be here to support you, meet with you, know you one-on-one to help you figure out what are the best ways to utilize your time in this program to get to your end goal. The alumni network, not just from this program, but from Tepper overall. I will say Tepper alumni are really proud to have been a part of Tepper, and whether that's this program or a different program, I think there's a real community there of people that you can always kind of connect with and tap into. There's just a shared experience of having been a Tepper student. The corporate partners and community partners that we work with on the capstone also immediately become part of your network and your community. And student organizations or opportunities for you to kind of get involved outside of the academic space also exist for students in our part-time online program. So let's touch on career. This is where I think our career model really helps students in this type of program, because again, we recognize that your goals are solely unique to you. And we don't approach kind of career support in this program as a one-size-fits-all model. It is very individual based. So we have a career center, the Master's Career Center, who supports all of our Tepper graduate students. But students are assigned individually to a career coach who works with each student, starting with that question of kind of, what do you hope to get out of this program? So tell me how we can help you on whatever your personal career journey is. And I will say that in the part-time program, there are a wide range of reasons why students do this program. So some of them are really looking to just upskill in their current organization. Some students are interested in transitioning entirely to a new organization or to a new role. And this program is kind of that pivot point for them. And the MCC, our Career Center, is experienced with supporting students through all of those types of career goals. And they're here to support you from the start all the way through the end. And even post-graduation, they can support you. So I think the key here is that we really do approach students individually in the career space, and the MCC coaches will tailor a career strategy to your own goals. So some of the things that they offer: dedicated career consultants. They will have a career strategy coaching approach individually. They do kind of the more traditional things that career centers do, like resume reviews, mock interviews. They help with providing students access to job boards, not only just for Tepper, but to CMU broadly. They compile resume books that they send out to employers and organizations of students who are interested in exploring careers that might be out there. They support students in managing offers. So that's something they work a lot with students on, is if you have an offer, they can help you think about that offer. Are there pieces that you can negotiate, or what are the factors that you should consider when you're thinking about that offer? So they are here for you for the whole process. And then lastly, I'll just touch on professional development, which I think is kind of different than career development. We view it differently here. One great resource that all of our Tepper students, including students in this program, have access to is what is called the Accelerate Leadership Center. So within Tepper, we have a team, a dedicated center of leadership coaches who are here to support graduate students. So this team, they're all certified coaches. Many of them have spent years working in corporate coaching, so working with executives and doing leadership coaching in the corporate environment. So they are quite familiar with kind of the challenges that people face and the skills that people want to develop to be more successful in their leadership journey. So they are fantastic resources for students. They host things kind of more broadly in terms of workshops, but they also do individualized executive coaching, which again, I think is really important in a program like this, because you can go into a meeting with a leadership coach with an actual challenge, opportunity that you're facing in your real context within your organization. So something you are experiencing in your professional sphere, they can help support you and kind of coach you through navigating that challenge. But again, I did mention this idea of leadership and professional development is woven into our coursework as well, because it's so critical in terms of your post-degree life, that you have experience with those skill sets and have worked to develop them while you're here. The Accelerate Leadership Center also has communication coaches. So these are students, MBA students, who can work on more kind of tailored specific topics like networking prep. So how do you be more productive in a networking setting, case competition prep, interview prep, and lots of other topics. So not only these professional leadership coaches, but there are other communications coaches available as well. Okay, so that is enough from me. Who we really want to hear from is Amina, to share her student experience and what this actually looked like in practice, going through and graduating from our part-time MSBA program.
Thank you, Kathleen. While you were going through it, it all rushed back to me when I'd started and why I'd chosen the Tepper MSBA program. I had done my research, you know, and I'm already working in a technology space. I have this 25 years of experience. So what was it that I was looking for? Having an experience, and if you're already working, you would want to upskill yourself. You would want to be up with the most modern technology, right? But if you are new, you still want to be in the right space. So both the things work out in our cohort. We had a mix of the people. And I would say that was the best thing, because we could exchange and we could learn from each other, from what I'd learned from my past and what I was bringing as my experience and knowledge from my organization, and my experience, plus, you know, learning from them, because some of them were data scientists and I was not a data scientist. I'm an architect, and I'm an enterprise architect. So I was bringing that architectural knowledge from across the platforms. My key of choosing Tepper MSBA was the curriculum. So I had looked very deeply into what they were offering. And one of the best things was having an ability to learn Python and then practice it throughout, using the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So not just the Python, but R script as well. I was not deep down into the coding when I started, but that has enabled me and enhanced my skills to now being able to do so. Also, other than that, it's more of, you know, how the modern technology is working. So we learned a lot of the MongoDB, the SQL, NoSQL, like all the other technical core skills, which you know, we would not be. Most of the other programs were not bringing a lot of those expertise into their program. Now, how do you apply this was a big part of what I would say I like this program. Being an alumni of Tepper, I can say this curriculum helped me to apply what I was learning while I was working. So during the architecture, application, I would apply the same skills that I was learning, but my organization saw that and they gave me that ability and that liberty to do and code and try and implement as well. So I was able to actually implement what I was learning, and I had all this encouragement and support from the faculty, and I would just go to the office hours and learn from them. So those were the key things, alongside the capstone program, which I want to touch, because my capstone was really meaningful. And when I compare with others in my program, the cohorts, capstones as well. They were all so different, and we learned so much from each other during that capstone program. It was very meaningful. I have some, I've written about it as well. I would be happy to share if you want to reach out. We did create an object detection model for to detect the firearms, basically any weapon or a gun, a pistol, for any massive shootings that's going to happen. So if you can predict that, if you can stop that, that was so meaningful for us. The flexibility to balance full-time leadership role, I would say that was the key. I'm a mother of 3 children, and they're all school-aged. So to balance my my work life, work life, and then student, it was it required a lot of effort. And so jumping into this kind of a program, which was intense, required coding, required a bit more technical skills, it was hard for me. And I wouldn't say that I was very, I was deep down into the code when I joined. Learning all those statistics functions was of course new for me. So I did do extra effort, but it was helpful because I had the background as well as I was curious to learn. So you can always learn. The beauty of this program is the cohort is there, and there will always be flexibility of hours, but the more you go into the classes, the more you catch up on your resources. That's where you have to invest that time, build that cadence, that cycle of learning for your own self. So if we want to move on to the next slide, I can tell you what were the key things that helped me succeed personally, and I can speak on some on behalf of my cohort as well. I would say this university has incredible faculty, even if the faculty is of that program, but has been teaching other cohort and not even yours, because sometimes there's faculty who's directly teaching you, and sometimes there's faculty who has taught your seniors or somebody. I was able to reach out to everybody. And I was really happy with all the support that I received. They all went above and beyond, supported my learning, supported my career growth. Like I mentioned before, I was able to get advice from what I was doing at work, what I want to achieve, how can I achieve it better. The cohort itself, I would give kudos to the administrative primes here and the leadership of this program. The immersion programs were designed so well that our cohort got really well bonded, and we built a strong community. We were so well knitted, not just within us, but between other cohorts as well. And we were able to connect and exchange information, learn from each other. And it was, I would say it was very diverse, not just from US, but from Canada, from Mexico, from Hong Kong, from Middle East. Like there were people from all over the world, and it was one of the amazing experiences. Then I would like to give a good reco for the ALC. I also put it in my chat. I had a really good support from the ALC leaders, because I did not know, being into an organization for super long time, how to navigate during these key years of transformation, when not only we were changing platforms, but we were also changing leadership. Economy is not supporting us right now. It's inflation, right? So there's layoffs being in the process, but I'm being promoted, and so there's support that you need, right? So all of that, I'm super grateful to the ALC leadership support that I received in my complex and navigating through my complex environment. So that was pretty much it, but I would want to add one more thing. The immersions you touched on, Kathleen, I want to mention. We did get a chance to visit and see what Amazon was doing with Alexa, what Amazon Web Services were building, and how their solution architecture team was working, and how they were using analytics. That was one of the eye-opening things. Deloitte, we had a wonderful visit to Deloitte and see how consultancy would work. If I want to switch to consultancy, what would be the pros and cons? So they opened up our eyes to that. And then there were multiple other analytics visits that we had when we were at the campus. Don't forget to get your student card made because you'll get a discount to the bookstore as well. And overall, the campus experience is just amazing. You don't want to miss out on that. If we want to move on to the next slide, here you can see that's a picture of our cohort. We went to the Topgolf just as a bonding experience, and it was amazing. But overall, I would say that, you know, I wish somebody would have told me this was intense in the beginning, right? So I don't want to scare you, but be ready if you want to start. There will be that period of starting off, ramping up, and understanding how it all works. But feel free to lean on your cohort, lean on your faculty, because you're not alone. It's a community. But and keep your cycle consistent. That would be one thing that I would just say. And consistency is what kept me on the same pace as well. There were times when the family needed more time. There were times when my work was getting really rough. But the curiosity, and I had to just remind myself, why did I choose this? Why did I start this program? And that just always got me back into, okay, I want to continue because I want to finish what I started, not only because it's a finish line, but because it's giving me that satisfaction and learning that I want to, get to. There's references that I've included here, and maybe we can share it afterwards as well. For other tips, and if you want to reach out to me, I'm always available for you. I will make myself available for you. But one thing that I would want to just touch on before I hand my mic off back to Kathleen is I want to say one more thing is the power of the community. When I say, I really mean the cohort, the faculty, and everybody around in the campus, plus the alumni. My recent experience after graduating, and even during my program, we were reminded to reach out to other alumni and other alumni across the globe, because they would be able to tell us what their experiences was, just like I'm telling you right now. I've been able to reach out to people in good positions who are working across other organizations and who are Carnegie Mellon graduates, be it from MSBA or other programs, but they're always willing to help. And I've learned so much from them. And I continue to do my coffee chats with them, and I continue to learn from them. So lean on that. At the end, it's a shared success. It's not one person who could just do it because they're superpower. They have superpowers. It is a shared community, and that is the best part about CMU. So that was all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Amina. I definitely should have gone first so that we could end with all the good stuff. But, now you've gotten to hear a little bit about curriculum, a little bit about the student experience. And now I get to chat about the fun part of admissions and how we get there. So I'll be quick to make sure we have some time for questions at the end as well. But really, our admissions process is truly a holistic one. We're looking at all aspects of your application and kind of your story when we're looking to see if it's a good fit for you here at Tepper in this part-time MSBA program. So kind of shown on the screen here, holistic process, we're looking at personal characteristics, academic aptitude, professional experience, and then ultimately that fit. And we'll talk a little bit more about all of those here in a minute. So what do we look for in an applicant? We are looking for a 4-year undergraduate degree or the equivalent from an accredited institution. So as long as it's a bachelor's or the equivalent, we need that in order to come pursue your master's here. As Amina spoke about, and Kathleen as well, we have a wide range of experiences in terms of years and backgrounds coming into this program, coming for different things, whether it's to pivot or just kind of moving up in their own organizations. So don't let that deter you. 0 years of experience, 25 plus years of experience. All of that is considered in our holistic review. We recommend competency in some key areas. It's not a requirement, but just having a little bit of that math background, whether it's calculus, linear algebra, statistics, things like that, and then any basic programming in modern languages. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how that's implemented throughout the program and is helpful. But, we have our student ambassadors that you can chat with about that, some of our alumni who are happy to kind of talk about where they started and where they landed. But this is really some of the things we're looking for in an application. And then always the fit with the Tepper community and how that cohort will work together, because it truly is a cohort model, and those immersion experiences are all done together as well. If we're looking just at the application, it's about 30 minutes to complete, outside of making sure you have all your transcripts, your official documentation, things like that. So it's an online application form. We need transcripts from all academic work. So we need official transcripts from undergrad degrees, any other master's degrees you might have, any academic work, we need that sent to us. Our program is now test optional, so if you opt to submit a GMAT or GRE score report, we would need that official score report. If you're choosing not to submit it, we'll talk about that on the next couple of slides, but it is test optional, so you do not have to submit a score as it was in the past. The resume, just an up-to-date resume with information on what you're currently doing, where you're working, things like that. We have 2 essays, a written essay and a video essay. Video essay is 2 minutes, pretty quick, talking about next steps and career goals. Written essay, just to hear a little bit more about you and your story, and those questions are available to see on our website. We do need a TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo scores, so just looking for English proficiency. There's exceptions to that as well, so more details to come. And then there is an interview that happens after submitting the application. That's by invitation only. So invites are sent out after an application is submitted. And then you chat with one of the admissions officers or someone on the team, just to kind of, again, see that fit with the community here. There is a $125 application fee. Talk to me before you submit, because there are lots of ways you can get that waived. And then we do offer merit-based scholarships as well. And then the last thing I'm going to chat about is just that test optional. There's a lot of information on our website to see if this is kind of the best fit for you or the best route for you. But ultimately, in looking at this program and looking at the students who have applied and been successful, we realize that standardized tests are not the only way to kind of show that competency in different areas. And so you'll see different suggestions and different ways to see whether submitting a test is the better option or not submitting a test is a better option for you. So please take a look at some of those. I think on the next slide here, there's some suggestions just in terms of, is this best for me? It's everyone's individual choice whether or not to submit that test, but please read through some of those suggestions if you do choose to go that route and with the next steps for the application process. The admissions team, myself, we're always happy to help answer any questions and walk you through anything. We're also happy to kind of pass your information on to any of our student ambassadors or alum that are happy to talk a little more on the experience side. So please don't hesitate to reach out if questions do come up about submitting an application, the program at all, things like that. I think that wraps my section up. Perfect. So any questions? I think we can open it up at this point. We do have, the 3 of us here and outside of this webinar that are happy to help answer any questions that you might have. If you want to type those in the chat, anything, now is the time. And just in my experience of doing the webinars, a lot of times those questions come after the fact. So please, please don't hesitate to reach out. Emails are all over the place. I'll throw mine in the chat as well, just to make sure it's readily available. But yeah.
See, the problem when you host such a good event is like you gave all the information they would have had questions about, and now they're just so psyched to apply, they don't even need to ask you any questions. They're like ready to go. That should be the question, is like, when can I start, right? Which I believe there's still applications available
Yes, so
for a couple of months from now they can start, correct?
Correct. And we are on a rolling basis at the moment. So if anyone's looking to start for 2025, that opportunity is still available. Just shoot me an email there in the chat. If you're looking at 2026, that application will open later in the fall, which isn't that late, I guess. It's coming up quicker than I realized. So September, October is when that new application will open up.
Maybe I can ask a question, Dunya. What is the deadline, the last date that you will lock the applications down?
Yeah, so for that's always a really great question for this current year. We're looking at likely the end of July. We really encourage, if you are looking to apply for this year, to do so as soon as possible and to reach out to us. When we enter rolling, it's a little different in terms of kind of locking it down and things like that. But it's still open as of now. Just reach out and then you'd have the opportunity to still start at the end of August.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, you have your email there. If anybody does have questions after the fact, feel free to email Dunya. And this was fantastic. I learned a bunch, as I always do at your sessions here. So this is really, really great. So thank the three of you for doing this, for putting this information out there. And hopefully we'll see some folks, as you mentioned, either applying right now for a couple of months from now, or even a couple of weeks, I guess, from now, beginning the program, or applying a couple of months from now to start next year. But either way, it's a fantastic program at a great university, especially for something like analytics, where there is such a great connection that Tepper has with the larger Carnegie Mellon University, which is a huge research university, a lot of really great folks in engineering and other highly quantitative disciplines. So to be able to kind of be on campus with those folks in a program like this, it's a great fit for many different reasons. So yeah, so again, thanks so much. And hopefully we'll see some questions come in after the fact. We have some shy folks in the audience today, but hopefully they'll be a little more out there during their interview process for the program.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.